back, everyone. We are getting straight into this next up series. It is Blast Wave Bros facing off against Tegridy Dam.
Well, I mean, Blast Wave Bros said if Ratapai was needed, he would be there. He would heed the call, and now he's come back to heal the turbo against Tegridy Dam. I mean, they have just been absolutely destroying with this composition.
I've played Discipline Priest Turbo on the ladder into this Shadow Priest Warlock comp, and if Tegridy Dam play as well as they have been in the first week, I think Blast Wave Bros have no chance.
Okay. Well, their strategy was basically, okay, well, we qualified for the circuit. We're pretty happy with that. And Ratapai, he said he wants to focus a little bit more on his studies. But if his team summons him, then he would be there. So we're going to see some maybe random comps from them, comps that we haven't really seen before. But Fuseton has been looking good on that warrior. Jaime, of course, on his shaman can never be underestimated. And Ratapai is here on his priest, so let's see what they can do with this comp when you put together these players, what you actually will get. Jaime, so far, doing decent damage over there onto Wallirik, but struggling a little bit to connect onto his target now. Ratapai getting rotted down big time here by Zot, and this is exactly what we saw against Kawana Gaming from Zot as well, just targeting the healer over and over and over again on that Shadow Priest, building up so much pressure. And I gotta say, so far, I think Sid's prediction is kind of true. Blast Wave Bros are getting just completely obliterated.
All right, let's see if they can keep it up. Ratapai is still struggling to stabilize, and anytime a Mind Games connects, that's the scariest moment for Ratapai. So watch out for Zot and see if he's casting Mind Games. That's the game-winning play from the side of Tegridy Dam. Ratapai's mana bar, also that blue bar below his health, when that hits 0, he's pretty much done. He's not feeling too great at this point. They've popped Ascendance, but Wallirik is laughing at Jaime. He is now the Roadrunner Frog, just completely avoiding that Ascendance. I didn't know you could get the frog form on the Soul Share. I need to get that on the live realm. That actually looked hilarious. Ratapai's managed to maybe get a little bit of mana throughout that chaos, and they're doing a split strategy, so this can be effective against Restoration Druids to have one player, so Fuseton in this case attacking Zot and then Jaime attacking Wallirik. This way Fnoberz can't have Life Bloom on 2 targets, and he has to heal inefficiently, and he may run out of mana. Although it's not, I would say it's atypical to have the warrior on the Shadow Priest. Usually you want the shaman on the mobile target, and you want the warrior on the more mobile target. So this split is not standard from the side of Blast Wave Bros in terms of targeting in my mind. Maybe they want the shaman there to purge Dark Soul, which is actually rolling right now, but there's a lot of heal over time effects. It's taking quite a long time to strip it. Here comes the Void Eruption from Zot. Potentially a lot of damage from Ratapai. Mind Games from Zot. Big play on Ratapai. How is Ratapai going to deal with the pressure? He's wrapped around the corner, but he can't heal himself. He's struggling. He's down at 10% off screen, just dying to dots. Managing to barely survive. But now Fuseton's getting blasted. Jaime's getting rotted. Fuseton trades that dive with the sword, but he's dying through it. Jaime has to recover with a healing surge. Fnoberz is just drinking in stealth. And as the turbo, you're just like, well, yeah, there's no way I'm stopping that. Fnoberz is getting full mana. They're going to jump back over to Wallirik and try and get some uptime.
Yeah, they do finally get some uptime, but it might be too little too late. Fuseton gets a huge heal there by Jaime and Ratapai in order to survive. Decent pressure out. The split strategy working out okay here, but these constant drinks from Fnoberz is really keeping Tegridy Dam in the match. And as this game goes on, it is so difficult for Ratapai to stay alive. He might just get dropped. He's in a silence. Pain Suppression comes in as well as the Rapture. Really just no answers with that Mind Games and that Unstable Affliction. Such a devastating combo for that Discipline Priest. Ratapai basically has to trade out every single cooldown he has in order to survive. And now this is looking like an absolute nightmare situation for Blast Wave Bros. Fuseton just rotting down low. Ratapai getting interrupted, already down to 50% mana, dampening just 1 minute away. And if Blast Wave Bros can make it to that point, maybe this consistent strategy will pay off. Maybe they can force Fnoberz to just continuously heal on the match, but I would say this is looking incredibly good for Tegridy Dam.
Yeah, Tegridy Damp here in the driver's seat, about a minute away from Damp, and already Ratapai's mana is dwindling. His cooldowns aren't looking great. Wallirik still has, unending resolve. He still has basically all cooldowns. Wallirik just activated his Dark Soul here. There's a silence onto Ratapai. Wallirik gets Panda Ray Shelled into a Hex here by Jaime while he's trying to strip that off, but he's not able to get it. Still Dark Soul rolling with Power Infusion. Wallik's now getting feared on it by Fuseton. Fuseton, but that means they can't fear up Fnoberz, which means that they're not going to have any kill pressure here if they don't use it on the healer, and Warwick gets crowd control on most of his Dark Soul, but I feel like that's just slowing down the inevitable doom here that is heading the way of the Blast Wave Bros here. Ratapai trying to find a drink, but Warwick's is there, stopping him, and Zot just keeping distance between him and Fuseton. If Zot can get a mind control of the Fuseton as well, it's going to be really, really good here for Tegridy Damp. But finally, a little bit of pressure here onto Warwick, a little bit of pressure onto Zot. Fnoberz for the first time actually has some healing to catch up on, but now he's immediately moving towards Ratapai here. You can see Ratapai sitting down for a drink. Big pressure here by Jaime onto Warwick, actually forcing out the unending resolve. Fnoberz going to re-stealth, stun up Jaime here with the rake stun, and then maim stun Fuseton, run back to his pillar, throw out his hots. Ratapai gets silenced. Zot is just in void form, crushing it right now, and everybody here is just slowly but surely rotting down as we just hit dampening.
Yeah, this is going to be tough for Ratapai. That mana bar is completely tapped out. He still has Mind Games as a threat. Fuseton is pushing in, but Zot is soloing Fuseton one-on-one in the backline. Fuseton has to leap away, and Wallirik ports away from his leap. He's rotting down to dots. A stun around the corner onto Ratapai. This could be a triple kill if they're not careful. Jaime needs to help out with a ton of healing surges right now, but he's locked up in a stun, not able to assist too much, and Ratapai looks like he may be trying to drink to the right side of that pillar. Is Zot going to be able to stop him? Wallirik using the gateway. Jaime getting interrupted on his Door of Shadows, preventing the reconnect. Zot stops the drink from Ratapai. Fnoberz deciding what he wants to do here. I'd like to see more entangling roots from Fnoberz in general. He looks like he's fishing for it right now onto Jaime, as it's unlikely that Ratapai will ever be able to dispel those entangling roots. It could be a way for Zot to get away from Fuseton. Fuseton's getting way too much uptime in my mind right now against Zot at the moment. Ratapai 0 mana. Zot's still taking a lot of damage though. Needs to be careful. Ratapai's trying to drink once again. Quaking Palm on Wallirik to stop him from stopping the drink. Wallirik in a portal. Does he have something to hit Ratapai around the corner? It looks like they were able to stop the drink. Walrik's getting in line of sight. Pain suppression trades here. Overlapped with the Astral Shift. Big defensive overlap. They can't afford that when they're on 0 mana. Huge pressure coming in for Wallirik. That's the Dark Soul. Fnoberz is laying in cat form. Mind control. Fuseton can just die in the mind control. They purge him out. He leaps back, but he's still so low. Ratapai silenced up. Jaime trying to help out. Wallirik is just toading away in that frog form. And now a Chain Harvest comes through from Jaime, recovering the team for now. They survived the Dark Soul wave and managed to stay alive, but they're still quite far behind on mana.
Oh, they really are. I mean, Ratapai, he's got nothing. Let's see if he's going to be able to sneak away and go for a drink at 15% dampening and dispelling Unstable Affliction. I think it's unlikely, but a big heal comes in from Jaime. Ratapai stabilized. He's behind the pillar, but a beautiful portal there by Wallirik. That Demonic Circle going to bring him right on top of Ratapai, keep him in combat, keep the dots up, and it is only a matter of time. I mean, JB, once his off heals aren't as effective, all this rot pressure is going to be absolutely devastating. Ratapai, in the meantime, sitting down, recovering a little bit of mana. Fuseton getting incredibly low, though. This is a dangerous situation. Jaime throws in an off heal. I mean, when we look at that scoreboard, I feel like Jaime's going to be the primary healer of this match. Big setup on Wallirik! Can they take him down? There's no Iron Bark. Unending Resolve comes in. That's a lot of defense to keep him alive, but man, Blastwave Bros, they are staying in it. They're very pressured in this match. They are finding opportunities to really force Tegridy Damp defensive. And I feel like this is the first time in the match where we see Wallirik actually pretty afraid. Doesn't want to go in and push. There's no Iron Bark available. There's no Unending Resolve available. So he has to be very careful, because if Fuseton and Jaime can connect to a single target, it is going to be devastating.
Yeah, and Fuseton right now getting stunned up by Fnoberz. Ratapai in a maim stun. They're going to go after Ratapai here. No trinket, no pain suppression. Getting decent rot damage there, but Zot not able to do too much. Zot actually getting interrupted here. Takes a huge chunk of damage, but a nice heal from Fnoberz is going to make him recover. And like you mentioned here, Maruki, Blastwave Bros still fighting it out here to the bitter end, and it's looking good for them right now. Warwick's totally in control of the situation here, though, as he leaps away once again from the threat of Fuseton. But Fuseton reconnects there with the leap, with the Stormbolt, and now here once again Ratapai looking for a drink. Actually, Fnoberz looking for his own drink. Malefic Raptures here connecting onto Jaime. Jaime could be in a lot of trouble here. I actually would love to see just the silence or the disarm onto Jaime. Big damage here from both teams. There's the Dark Soul. There's the Power Infusion. Malefic Rapture.
How much damage?
Malefic Rapture. Ratapai, what are you gonna do? He's fully dotted up behind the pillar. He's
Jaime dies.
That's gonna be Jaime running down. That's going to be a triple kill here coming up for Tegridy Damp as they finish game number 1 at 27% Damp.
see the Dark Soul as well as the Power Infusion on Wallirik. I hope we have a replay of those with the Malefic Raptures, because it was just constant, like a 0.3 second cast. Everyone's dead. Ratapai just behind the pillar, getting absolutely dotted and rotted and dropped. I mean, Tegridy Damp, they look good in that one. There's a few scary moments, but they played it calm, cool, collected, eventually picked up that win against the Discipline Priest in dampening. I mean, we're going to see it here. Just look at the damage Wallirik was able to put out.
Yeah, this is Warwick's time to shine. It trinkets there, and then here, I think, is this where they reconnect onto him? And he toads away? No, he's already done that. Here, okay, there, Malefic Rapture, gets wind sheared, runs a little bit away from Jaime. Look at it, unstable affliction.
Look how fast he is.
Yeah, look how fast. Shadow Fury, Malefic Rapture,
Boom,
Malefic Rapture,
Malefic.
Malefic Rapture.
And Ratapai's like,
dead.
hello.
It's like the final, the final boss in like a Torghast wing, fully enraged, with maximum pace, just spamming out.
It's what is his name? The Tara something? Tarak? The big boss? When you wipe?
I just
I wasn't thinking of that, but it's similar.
that works too.
Enraged.
Enraged mode. Hit the raid boss timer, enrage timer.
This is.
Oh, what is that guy called? I just know that it means murder, and I cannot remember his name.
Isn't it
Sure,
Tarak?
spamming his name right now.
Everybody knows about us.
You know what? We'll let chat tell us who that guy is named specifically, and we can talk about this game. We can see the damage breakdown right here. Tegridy Damp taking that first game victory, and I love this team. You know, they remind me a little bit of Coffin Dance from last year. You know, obviously very different composition pool between those two teams, but they kind of have the same like rate of success. You know, Coffin Dance and Tegridy Damp, both 3-person rosters for the majority of, you know, the time that they've been playing, and they're having a lot of success right now. They won both of their series. Tegridy won both of their series last weekend, and here they are right now, 1-0 right now against Blastwave Bros. And it's cool to see, you know, teams such as this, Zico, with a 3-person roster and, you know, the composition pool that they do have doing so well in the circuit.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of nice for them because, you know, the meta has shifted a little bit here with the new patch, and I feel like it has benefited their playstyle a lot. Number one, drinks got nerfed, so you regain less mana at the start of your drink and more towards the end. That is great if you're playing, you know, a rock-based composition where people have to drink against you all the time. Then they've also made some buffs to Warlocks, which is obviously great if you have Warwicks on your team. And then the biggest thing I think as well is the Holy Paladin nerfed everyone else more than it nerfed them, because Druid works really well in this comp, and Druid is Fnoberz main. So Fnoberz getting to play his main that he's, you know, one of the best at, and everybody else also getting a healer nerf there, you know, especially in terms of mana with those Paladin nerfs. It's just super good for Tegridy Damp. And obviously when you have, you know, it's like with ad hoc gaming. You don't have that many teams who only play that one comp, but some of those teams, when they just play that one comp and they're really good at it, it can be extremely tough to beat them, especially, you know, with Blastwave Bros' loss of Prophecy.
I feel like the biggest thing for Tegridy Damp is Shadow Resist Aura said goodbye. So, I mean, that was just straight up 10% minus damage for them that they got back. So it's like all these little changes, they really add up. And this is what I was talking about. I mean, you find a team that they kind of squeak by, they make it into that top 8, then they get some favorable changes, and all of a sudden they're looking like a top contender. I mean, so far we really haven't seen a single team. I do kind of worry about them against like a Fire Mage Warrior or something like that, but I could still see them winning. So Tegridy, Tolveron? Really? Say, bros, they go to Tolveron? I mean, Tegridy Damp, they're like, oh, Tolveron, great, all right, this is our favorite map.
There's no way they're gonna wizard them, right? There's no way Ratapai Holy Pal.
Mage Alley.
It's
they're gonna get destroyed.
Who's gonna get destroyed?
Oh, come on!
Blastwave
Who do you think's
gonna get destroyed?
Blastwave Bros.
I think Blastwave Bros is gonna get I mean, hey, we finally saw it. They finally played Mage
I was
Ellie.
gonna say, you
Yeah.
guys have been asking for this forever. Here they are. They
And
got
now they do it and we
Ratapai
don't
back.
like it.
Yeah,
Well,
now they finally
Why aren't
do
they just
it.
playing
You guys
Mage
are
Ellie? Why
doubting
aren't they playing
them.
Mage Ellie?
You know what? I have faith in this team. They've got Ratapai back. They're playing the comp that we've been asking them to play for weeks. You guys are negative Nancy's. I'm excited for. I'm excited
not.
for them. Okay,
dare you.
everyone but
I
Ben
mean-
and myself.
I'm kind of. I mean, so this is what I don't like. I feel like Blastwave
What?
Bros. The one thing that is very unfortunate for Blastwave Bros is they don't have a snare. They're just going to be snared the whole game, being dragged, just trying to get damage out, trying to do their setups, and it's going to be difficult. I feel like Livin's going to have a difficult time staying on target. I mean, you can see Lightning Lasso goes, but as long as they deny Jaime those Lightning Lassos, I feel like Tegridy Damp's going to be looking good. I would have preferred this matchup on actually a smaller map. So I don't mind the classes and the comp that they used, but this is the worst map they could have tried this.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's not a surprise what Tegridy Damp's going to run also. So, I mean, Blastwave Bros, they knew what they were going to be playing against.
Yeah,
I mean, go ahead, Zico.
you got
I was just gonna
Um,
say, like, if they can win on this map, then what? What did I do?
The both
Why are
of
we
you
laughing?
talking over each other. You go. No, you go. And then you
Oh.
both start talking again. It's fantastic.
It's like when you're at a four-way stop and you like weren't sure who got there first, except the difference is we're like on different ping and there's a lot going on.
it's
You go, you go.
it's like when you meet up with somebody, you know, like you're walking opposite directions and you're like,
Yeah. Oh yeah, this.
you know,
In the hallway.
yeah, exactly.
You never know. You go,
There-
Zico. I'll just
All
stop
right, so
talking.
what I was going to say is, I just agree with Van. You know, if you're Tegridy Damp, okay, so just a free advice here: don't lock in Tolvir in pretty much any scenario against Tegridy Damp. They're always gonna. This is their best map, and their comp wants to outlast. So whatever you want to do on Tolvir, there's a pretty high chance that they're gonna do what you want to do, but better than you. So don't ever pick Tolvir against Tegridy Damp. And number two, it's like what Van said. You don't have slows when you play Mage Ellie, so having a small map is going to be a lot better. Even though it's two wizards, so you think, oh, it's two wizards, so big map. But the big map is always going to favor the team with the slow because they can use that big map way better. So for Blastwave Bros, they want the small map. They want like a Dollar and Sewers or something where, okay, they can blink in, Dragon's Breath Sheep, go for, a Hammer of Justice and just try to one-shot somebody. But yeah, we'll see if Blastwave Bros can pull it off. This is something that we wanted to see from them. And this actually puts them all at, playing a class that they're actually good at. Ratapai is going to be on his Holy Paladin. He's been looking good. He's been looking... I wasn't
You don't think
gonna roast him.
Ratapai's good at Priest?
No. That's not what I meant. I was going to roast his Holy Paladin there, though, but I changed my mind last second. But yeah, his Holy Paladin, it's not exactly like a Fnoberz Holy Paladin, but it's decent, and then, of course, Jaime on his main, that Ellie Shaman, Livin on that Fire Mage as well. Take it away, Sid. Game started.
I mean, let's just talk pros of Ellie Mage. They have double D curse, so they can remove tongues. They can remove Curse of Agony, very important against the Warlock. They have a lot of disruption, like Grounding Totem. They can Klepto and purge off all the buffs of the Warlock and the Priest. Defensively, it doesn't seem like it would be too bad of a pick, but the damage is still sticking despite that. Ratapai trying to recover with Avenging Wrath. This isn't even Dark Soul yet, and fortunately for Ratapai, it was actually an Awakening proc, so he still has his main Avenging Wrath, and he wants to trade that with the Dark Soul, I would imagine. So it's really about Tegridy Damp, about how much pressure they can put out to bait that Avenging Wrath before their cooldown window. Ratapai charges in, but gets nether warded on his Hammer of Justice, sending his own stun right back at him into a silence. Now he's stuck out in midfield, trying to get back to the pillar in line of sight. Managing finally to get to the corner. His entire team dotted up. Big heal coming in for Ratapai with the Avenging Wrath. Was it an Awakening proc though again, or was it actually the Avenging Wrath? Because here comes Dark Soul from Wallirik. Oh, no one's in line of sight really though. They're trying to purge it off. I don't think they're going to get too much value from this Dark Soul. Wallirik is actually taking more damage than he's doing. Big UA dispel from Ratapai. He's going to have to be careful about those ones.
Yeah, Ratapai's transmog looks like he's getting ready to go to the beach. They're right now with those shorts on, but I don't think this map is going to be quite the vacation they were looking for. Zot right now doing a really good job. I mean, here's the thing. I mean, Livin, he has his combustion up, but Wallirik, anytime he's afraid, he can just use the portal, get away. Fnoberz can easily recover. The one thing about this map, though, is I think it's going to be difficult for Zot and Wallirik to actually push in and deny drinks. So I think this is likely going to be one of those games that does go to deep dampening. Either we're going to see Blastwave Bros just go for a big one-shot and take someone down, but if it plays the way it kind of should, I think dampening is also going to be kind of a requirement for this game to end, but we shall see. Livin going for a double Dragon's Breath. Can he get a polymorph? Does manage to find it onto Fnoberz. Nicely done. Hammer of Justice on Zot, and they do manage to get the dispersion. So Tegridy Damp, they push in, and they get punished for it. Nicely done there by Blastwave Bros.
Yep, nice capitalization there. They do get the dispersion, and Zot doesn't have a trinket, so maybe they can set something up there, start accelerating the game, try to get some crowd control onto Fnoberz, get another one of those setups onto Zot. Could be big, but whenever both teams are just staying back like this and just essentially PvEing on each other, it usually means Tegridy Damp is going to be the team that comes out ahead. And here you can see how annoying Warwick's slow is. Nobody can move on the side of Blastwave Bros. Ratapai is going to take this opportunity to sit down and drink. Livin takes a little bit of damage here, but he's going to recover there with a couple of hits from Ratapai. Just both teams trying to get some pressure onto Warwick's here. Livin has his combustion. He's actually going to pop it onto Zot, but Zot immediately fading there. So Zot actually getting, and Warwick's using his reflect right there as well, and then porting behind the pillar. So that was Livin's combustion, and he wasn't able to do much with that. And now, once again here, it's going to be Tegridy Damp feeling very confident here. They can push in, they can go and drink. If you're Fnoberz, they can really do whatever they wanted, because that big hit of damage that the mage has was just used, and that Skyfear Totem was also just used. So they're going to push in a little bit here, look to get some dots onto Jaime and Livin. But yeah, this game, I mean, both. Warwick needs to be extremely careful. I was just about to say, this game is probably going to go the distance in terms of dampening, and then Warwick almost just got one-shotted. And let's put it like this. If this game ends before 50% dampening, it's because Blastwave Bros LA Shaman probably just solo killed somebody. It's a very high chance of the LA Shaman just soloing, a Warlock or a Shadow Priest. But if that doesn't happen, then I think we're going to go to deep dampening, because there's not really a stop for Ratapai's drinks, and there's not really a stop for Fnoberz's drinks. Both teams can't just cross the map. If you do it on Tegridy Damp, you're going to get swapped and deleted. And if you do it on the Blastwave Bros, well, you're just going to be snared and actually never make it to your destination. So we'll see who ends up kind of getting an advantage moving into dampening.
See, I would have thought before dampening, you're actually advantaged as the Lock Shadow Priest. I feel like in dampening, with all the purges they have from Jaime and the Klepto from Livin to remove all of the aggressive cooldowns, they can just turn this around and overwhelm the Druid deeper into dampening. So I would actually like to see Tegridy Damp get aggressive in these in-between windows after the Stormkeeper, after the Combustion, and try and get on top of Blastwave Bros, maybe take their pillar in line of sight with it, because if they're out in midfield, they're going to take so much more burst damage. It's just Lava Burst and Combust is way more threatening than really anything Zot and Wallirik can offer onto a single target. So when they're trading in the middle of the map, it's only effective if they can win off of mana based from doing it, and they're not. Look at me, Ratapai just sits down for another drink. He's back to full mana, and the deeper we go into dampening, the less likely I think it is that Wallirik will recover from one of these big zaps from Jaime, or even just a couple of seconds of combustion from the Fire Mage. I'm actually starting to get worried for Tegridy Damp if they want to play this as slowly as it looks like they're playing it at the moment.
Yeah, I kind of wonder. It's just going to be one of those things where I feel like things will spiral out of control for either one of these teams. Either we see Blastwave Bros completely overwhelm Tegridy Damp, and like you said, with purges, they can really ride that momentum. My big problem is I feel like Blastwave Bros, they aren't going to be able to make a push. It's like you're going to have to get, basically Jaime's going to have to find a one-shot, Livin's going to have to find a one-shot, and if they ever cross the middle of the map, that's when Zot and Wallirik can really, really get aggressive. So I feel like as long as Zot and Wallirik, they play in kind of a defensive position, Fnoberz maintains his mana, I don't think Blastwave Bros is going to be able to make this big heroic push where they drop someone after like a long extended crowd control chain. We'll definitely have to wait and see though. Livin, he's got his combustion, Jaime's got a lot of damage available as well, and both these healers just trying to maintain their mana as we are at around 11% dampening. And I mean, at what point does it just become unrecoverable? Are we going to 60% dampening? I mean, if both teams are playing this passive, we could see 70% dampening in this match. Yeah, could be a record breaker, that's for sure. Livin right now using his combustion and trying to go in, but he just gets silenced into a psychic core and didn't get anything done whatsoever. He got one pyroblast off, and that is about it before being totally shut down. So I almost feel like for Livin, he just has to sit on that combustion as kind of like a counter pressure button when Wallirik and Zot try to get aggressive, maybe just force them away, because I feel like that burst moment was just totally rushed by Blastwave Bros.
Yeah, I think Livin locked Warwick's on Shadow there, so he couldn't teleport or access his Reflect, his Nether Ward. So he thought, okay, this is a great opportunity for me to pop my combustion. But when you are a part of the Winter Queen army, you can just use your frog form and teleport out of there even when you're kicked. So Warwick just did that, and he ended up wasting that combustion. But Livin is farming it back up here with those fireballs. I do believe he's playing the flame cannon build as well. It looks like Livin has a long range on his fireballs here, so he's playing a very PvE oriented build where he's just gonna stand still, gain a lot of extra range and damage on his spells, and then look to develop pressure from a very, very long way on the map. He's gonna have the longest range out of any player on the map, but it's interesting to see. I think Tegridy damp, all they have to do, it's like dampening works in different phases. Right now, in this phase, I would say it favors Blastwave Bros. If they actually get one of those big zaps from Jaime, it gives them an incentive to actually push in and maybe potentially finish the game. But if they don't actually get those, and they don't get that opportunity to push in after they drop somebody low, well, Tegridy Damp are just going to slowly but surely rot everybody down, and Ratapai is not going to have such an easy time dealing with all this dot damage. So, there's a very fine line there between, I would say, 20 to 40% dampening, where the game is in favor of Blastwave Bros, but then after 50% dampening, all of a sudden, it's just in favor of Tegridy Damp, and you can just see everybody starting to slowly rot down, and Ratapai is, if he sits down to try to recover a full mana bar, well, somebody's going to die just to the dot pressure.
Combustion on Wallirik, he portals barely in time. And they're just going to line of sight, wait for the Stormkeeper, not even give Jaime a Lightning Bolt target. Jaime really feels bad, man, right now with Stormkeeper up, just wanting to press Lightning Bolt, but nobody wants to play with an Elemental Shaman when Stormkeeper is up. Managed actually to get a couple Lightning Bolts on Zot. Fnoberz, mana, it's all right. Maybe he was going to go look for a drink. We see Shadow Crash come in, Zot's loading out dots, Walrik's fishing for Soul Rot, trying to maximize pressure here. They've got Dark Soul coming up, and it's really about the commitment. When is Walrik's going to utilize this Dark Soul? Is he going to sit on it for another minute and try and use it then, or is he going to min-max, try and just press it here and then get another one off the cooldown? Does he think he'll survive, or should he hold it as a threat? There's a lot of considerations to take when you're this deep into dampening as far as your cooldown management. It looks like they want to make a push. Fnoberz using Entangling Roots. I think Ursul's Vortex and Roots are going to be very important for Wallirik and Zot to get their pressure out on both Jaime and Livin. I think Ursul's Vortex with a Shadow Fury, when they've got the double tap with Dark Soul Power Infusion, that could be a way for Tegridy Damp to KO. They were trying to fish for Avenging Wrath on that push, and they didn't manage to get the actual Avenging Wrath. Ratapai got a bit lucky, proccing Awakening, activating his Avenging Wrath through Word of Glory. They were really hoping they could get that, and I would imagine they want to make a push. There's that Ursul's Vortex, pinning Jaime and Livin out in the middle of the map with Entangling Roots from Fnoberz, but they're blasting them back. Wallirik is a bit hesitant to stay in range of Jaime, just skirting the outside range of it and trying to max range Lava Burst so it doesn't finish his cast and then go for Malefic Raptures. It's a very, how do you want to, it's almost like trench warfare. Both teams don't want to kind of poke their heads up because there's just spells flying back and forth. And neither team really wants to push into the enemy team's fire, so they're both pinned at a neutral position. But eventually they're going to need to make a commitment. They're sending Zot right into the middle of the fray. Double Psychic Scream, and it looks like Tegridy Damp are making their push.
Yeah, they are. They're going in. Do they have the crowd control? Livin just rotting down. Ratapai, how is he going to handle this? Avenging Wrath comes in, 38% dampening. It's after the combustion, after Blastwave Bros basically commit all their offense. This is where Tegridy Damp shines. I mean, they just have to survive and get a lot of pressure while this one-shot combo's coming in. Wallirik actually gets knocked out of the Meteor. He has this Demonic Circle very offensively located right now, and he could get punished for it. I mean, Blastwave Bros, they're forced behind the pillar, but I feel like Tegridy Damp, they've kind of they've lost their really defensive positioning, which was working out very well for them. And now Wallirik might just get one shot, goes down to 10% health. I really feel like Tegridy Damp, they're making a mistake. This is exactly what Blastwave Bros wants.
Yeah, I don't think, I have to agree with you, Ben, here. I don't think they need to be playing on top of the Mage Ellie here and try to go for these setups. I think if you are Tegridy Damp, you have the rot pressure in your favor. Just whoever is target, Warwick's in this point, just play on max range. Livin on a prayer right there, barely hanging on. Double fear comes out. Triple fear, actually, Jaime drops the tremor totem, though, as it does break on him. Shifting power coming out here from Livin. Ratapai powering through with the heals, and Warwick's now once again here comes the combustion. Oh! He gets one hit. Fnoberz gets counterspelled. He's frog forming away there. Livin gets bashed right there, and he's thinking about blocking out of that one, but he opts not to. Probably a good call there. And now here comes the Ursul's Vortex. Here comes the rot damage. Warwick's and Zot looking to rot down everybody on the side of Blastwave Bros. We've reached 47% dampening. Look at that sacrifice damage. Transferring over to Ratapai. Livin forced into the ice block. Jaime spamming out the healing surges. And they're doing nothing. And at this point, they can swarm over that pillar. Warwick's, though, not out of the woods yet. He needs to be careful. Has he relayed his teleport? I'm not sure if he has. But Zot right now needs to be the one playing aggressive. Needs to be the one leading the charge. He has the cooldowns. He has the defensives to work with. So he needs to be the one leading the offense here as we approach 50% plus dampening, Sid.
All right, let's see if they can close it out here. Combustion coming up pretty soon. They're pressuring Zot away. No unending resolve. Wallirik is terrified. Fnoberz caught in a blinding light. Blastwave Bros try to make an advance here, but there's no ice block on their mage. Are they going to be able to get the kill? A full polymorph. Wallirik the target. He's going to nether ward and try and reflect damage back and get behind line of sight. Fnoberz uses Demonic Gateway as a frog. He's cosplaying Walrik's soul shape there in that hex for a moment. Frogs stick together. Are going to be a team that win together. Ratapai was trying to sneak away and drink. Jaime has to trade cooldowns just to dot damage. Livin's rotting down. His cauterized. Oh, he gets pulled back on his Blink Mind Games. Gets sheared right at the last second, but Zot's going to fish for that Mind Games right again. Mind Games connecting, I think, onto Jaime. Dispelled off by Ratapai, but his entire team's getting devastated. They're absolutely rampaging right now. Cauterize is going to trigger onto Livin. He's burning down. Jaime is just melting to dots. Fnoberz on the left side, bashing up the Lightning Lasso. They're going to bop that off to try and recover with Combustion. They're trying to make a play, but they purge off Combustion, and Livin has to just waddle away and rot and decay to a slow and painful demise right now. This is the most painful death ever for the team of Blastwave Bros. Triple Psychic Scream, triple Disorient. They're all dotted up, and they are all going to die. Tegridy Damp, bury them beneath the sands.
I mean, this is kind of what you expect from the side of Tegridy Damp. There's a few really close calls on Wallirik where he honestly could have gone down. I feel like they kind of overstayed their welcome in certain times, but at that point, you just have so much pressure. You have so much momentum. There's nothing Ratapai can do to keep his team alive. And I don't mind that composition pick whatsoever. I feel like it's not the worst matchup, but that map just absolutely backfired for them.
Yeah, I definitely wonder how it would have gone had they picked something else. So we'll see if we do get to see that matchup for game number 3 here. But we can see that breakdown of this kill Zika right now.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, this is kind of what we were talking about. You're past that 40% stage, and it's just pretty much impossible for Ratapai to keep everyone alive. There's a desperation combustion from Livin being popped. Warwick's just line of sighting, abusing those Warlock slows, and when that combustion is over, they push back in here. There's nothing anybody can do about it. Zot just teleporting in with that Venture ability, spamming out the dots. Warwick actually using the Void Elf teleport right there. They get the silence there onto Ratapai out of the disorienting roar of Fnoberz, and they're able to grab that win. And I mean, this is what you're playing for. If you're Tegridy Damp, this is the moment in the game where you're, super overpowered. The enemy can't really do anything to you. You just have damage in too many different places. Yeah.
It's the least fun way to lose, I'll tell you that. You're just stuck at the pillar, everyone is rotting down, your healer can no longer keep up, and they can basically do whatever they want at that point. See Zot, Dora, Shadows in, just put the final nail in the coffin. And Tegridy Damp, I mean, this is what we're talking about. Their team, they were not looking good in the cup stage. They were looking bad, but they were not looking this good. And now in 905, they are looking a lot better. All these little changes coming in, really gave them a lot of momentum, a lot of steam. And now I feel like teams that are going up against them, they have to be afraid because this is a solid team. They're up 2-0 in this particular series. They're 1 away from going 3-0 so far in this round robin phase. And I feel like they're just looking better and better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, before the beginning of today, these guys were seeded number 3 right now in the standings for this region, and they are almost solidifying their place even more if they get this next win in the top 4. This team is certainly ramping up. They're looking very, very solid right now. Blastwave Bros played something that we've wanted to see from them for a while, but it looks like that map was really their downfall here. So now the question is, Zico, are we going to see this same matchup with a different map chosen from Blastwave Bros? And do you think that that would be the choice that would be able to make them turn this series around in their favor?
Yeah, I think Hook Point Mage Alley is a pretty solid option for Blastwave Bros. I think it depends a little bit on what else they want to do, but I think that's what I would want to try if I was on Blastwave Bros. Yeah, Hook Point Mage Alley. That's what I want to see.
Hook Point Mage Alley. Subtees, you look unsure.
What if they're afraid on the small map that I feel like if they play the small map, they have to try to play to win. So that basically means they have to play really, really aggressive. They try to play on top of the enemy team, go for consistent setups, because Blastwave Bros will not be able to do the same thing. If we go to a small, okay, they are going to be going to, okay, Ashman's Fall. I feel like this is another pretty good map for Tegridy Damp. Blastwave Bros, what are they going to do?
There's no way they're not doing the same thing, right? I was actually wondering if Demon Hunter would have a place as like a counter to Warlock.
What about?
Because Demon Hunter actually does a lot of damage to Warlock. And Fuseton.
What about Thunder?
Being a Demon Hunter. Yeah, Thunder too. I think Thunder wouldn't be too bad, but this map? Also, I don't think they have the healer for it. I think you need like a Holy Priest or you need a Mistweaver. Something that's just
They don't have a Holy Priest?
Mana battery.
They have Ratapai.
Does Ratapai play Holy Priest?
Yeah, he does.
How would he
doing
not?
the same thing. Oh my, why are they doing this to themselves again?
I would almost, I'm not even joking, this is going to sound troll, but I would actually rather let Livin play Frost Mage here. I swear.
Yeah.
At least then he has a snare.
I agree.
There's a snare, okay. I'm glad. Normally you laugh at me when I say the Frost Mage, but I swear in this particular matchup, Livin is basically getting nothing done with his combustion. Like, it's just anytime combustion's popped, Tegridy Damp, they're prepared for it. It's immediately line of sight or a nether ward portal, and it just seems really difficult for him to get off that damage. Whereas if he was a Frost Mage, at least he could keep them locked down in the midfield, have more consistent damage in the match, and make it even maybe more difficult for Wallirik and Zot to make those type of offensive pushes where they can just swarm, because at least they'll be snared. But that's not going to happen. I mean, we don't have to go too deep into that, but I feel like that might have been a better option for them.
Yeah, interesting choice from these guys from Blastwave Bros. Certainly, at least if you want to, take what the casters are saying, putting themselves not in a good spot here with these map choices. So I wonder what they're thinking, and basically trying the same matchup once again. So I wonder if we're going to see a different strategy going into this game, or we're going to see what they did on Tulveron and try and make that work somehow for the second time. But I mean, this is their last chance right here. If they lose this game, they lose this series, and it would not look good for them overall for this team right now, where they're standing compared to the rest of these teams in this circuit. And we saw them struggle quite a bit last weekend. They didn't have Ratapai, so they had a very, very rough series. Now that they've got Ratapai back, they're trying this composition that we've wanted them to do for some time now, but we're not really seeing them connect with it just yet. So maybe it's chance number 2 here going into Ashman's Fall that we do see this work out for them in their favor. But it looks like it might be Tegridy Damp's game to win here, Ben.
Yeah, I think it definitely is. I mean, if you're playing Shadow Priest Affliction Warlock, the big maps are definitely your friend. we saw kind of how it played in the mid game, and that's what I really want to see from Tegridy Damp, where basically you're just playing max range as the Affliction Warlock, throwing in your instant dots. If you can get a UA up, great, but basically what you're trying to do is avoid Jaime and Livin attacking the same target for too long. So as long as you're breaking up their damage, not allowing them to get consistent Pyro Blasts off, consistent damage from the Elemental Shaman, you just play a range game, that's where we're going to see Tegridy Damp really excel. And then, as like Zico said, at a certain point in dampening, they can just push in. Once they fall behind, it's almost impossible for Ratapai to recover, and that's where they can claim victory. They just have to hold on to that point. So unless Blastoise Bros can find a massive one-shot, I think this is another 60% damp game, more than likely.
All right, well, let's see if that prediction is correct. Game number 3 here, Tegridy Damp on match point. Blastwave Bros have yet to take a map off from Tegridy Damp, but they're trying out this composition. Let's see if they can pull it off here in game number 3, Zico.
Yep, Tegridy Damp here. Trying, actually, you know, they're one of those teams that we were talking about heading into the week. They were already 2-0, but one thing we haven't really talked about is also the fact that the score in each series matters a little bit later as well. If we have tiebreaker situations, that's the first decider. How many maps have you won and lost? And I mean, picking up a 3-0 as well would be huge here for Tegridy Damp moving forward, especially with the fact that they are a 3-man roster. But right now we got a combustion here being popped by Livin. Warwick's actually going to Trinket there as well right away, teleporting. So this is not a bad opener for the Blastwave Bros, and this is kind of what we want to see. I want to see calculated aggression like that. Just stay back, farm combustion, farm Stormkeeper and whatnot, and then push in, have Ratapai get a Hammer of Justice onto somebody, get some kind of crowd control, and then just go completely nuts here onto Warwick. The zaps there from the Stormkeeper of Jaime doing some work, but gonna be easy for Fnoberz to keep Warwick alive there. And once again, here's Zot as well, taking a little bit of damage from that lasso, and he's gonna recover now. Fnoberz just gonna halt everybody up, then potentially look for a drink or look for an opener from stealth, and we're just gonna see both of these teams here looking to find an advantage, looking to find any kind of edge in terms of damage. Warwick's HP spiking out a little bit, but it's actually living on the back foot here. Fnoberz still not able to find a drink, still lost a little bit of his mana, but so far it's still in the very early stages of this match. Both of these teams just doing what they can to build up that pressure and to buy that reset.
You know, it's much like actual lightning in real life. It's really low odds that you get hit, but if you do, you're pretty much guaranteed to be dead. So in this matchup, Jaime, if he can line up one of these Stormkeeper lightning bolts and manage to connect with those low odds, they can definitely win. But that's pretty much all they're banking their victory on, is just Jaime getting a big lightning bolt hit and KOing a target. And if Tegridy Damp can avoid that very low odd chance of happening, they're likely to attrition this fight out much deeper into dampening, where the Paladin will just no longer be able to recover. Blastwave Bros are picking the big maps because they know that Paladin has to drink, and it's the only map that Ratapai can drink on, are the big ones. So they're trying to just completely bank on that Elemental Shaman one-shot, maintain their mana, and fish for it as much as possible. We see a setup on a Fnoberz here, but as a Necrolord Druid, I really think it's unlikely that we see Fnoberz go down. They switch their pressure to Zot. They get a greater fade. Overall, the waves of damage that they're pushing out appear to be more threatening than we saw in the previous game.
Yeah, and it's just that range. As long as Livin and Jaime can stay within range to get out their damage spells consistently, that's when they're going to be able to find pressure. It's the moments where it becomes really difficult is when Wallirik and Zot are just max ranging. Although I feel like Tegridy Damp, they can't feel too confident right now. Zot getting incredibly low. Is he going to trade out the fade? The heals are coming in, and it looks like they will be actually forcing a lot of damage on Wallirik as well. So Wallirik and Zot getting aggressive with their positioning, it's really not paying off. This is exactly what Blastwave Bros wants. I feel like Tegridy Damp, they need to respect the damage a little bit more. You know, feels good to play the Shadow Priest Affliction Warlock at 60% dampening, or close to it, but before that, I really feel like the Elemental Mage has the advantage.
Yep, I couldn't agree with you more. And speaking of advantages, Livin trying to push the advantage here, popping that combustion, just hitting whatever he can, hitting Fnoberz, hitting Zot, hitting Warwick, whoever is in his line of sight. Look at those big Pyroblasts right there. He's hard. Oh, is he playing? No way. Wait, he just hard. I have to look at Livin's talent here, but I think he might be playing.
I think
No.
it was just a mistake.
No, he's playing. He's playing Kindling. I thought for a second there that he might be playing the big Pyroblast, but yeah, I guess he just made a mistake in his rotation because you definitely never want to hard cast those Pyros. But we're gonna see Livin here in a stun. Jamie with the Stormkeeper with the Sky Fury here. One zap connects. If you can get another big zap here with the Echoing Shock, it could be big, but unfortunately for him, the Lightning Bolt lottery does not give out the jackpot today. And Jamie, once again, going to have to go back there behind the pillar and look for a new opportunity. Nice CC chain here. Jamie, though, powering out with the heals. They get the silence onto Ratapai. They get the stun onto Livin. Big damage, but Jamie deflects with his heals right there. And this is the part where Tegridy Damp, they sometimes get a little bit antsy. They sometimes get a little bit too aggressive. This is the situation where they cannot allow that to happen. Because like Van Ruki mentioned, Mage Ellie, earlier stages of the game, for sure going to be the comp that is more threatening. So, you know, if you are Tegridy Damp, you're looking to build a long-term advantage here. And we're going to see Combustion being ripped out here onto Warwick. He has the Iron Bark. Nature Swiftness going to come out as well. So Warwick's going to be safe there with the help of Fnoberz. But still, I don't like Tegridy Damp playing a little bit too close to the action here. I would much rather see them play on max range, far away from everybody, utilizing those Warlock slows and then just being able to teleport to a nearby pillar if they are in trouble. When the Mage Ellie gets to play on top of them, well, that's exactly what the Mage Ellie wants to do.
All right, at the moment, Jamie's playing aggressive on the pillar here, trying to get out some damage. A lot more offensive positioning from him so far in game number 3, but they're on match point. Tegridy Damp have been slaughtering so far in the circuit on this Shadow Priest, Warlock, Druid. I'm curious to see how they fare against some of the best contenders, especially the teams that were running Mage Ellie like skill capped in the past, or these Mage Shadow Priest teams, or these Warrior Mage teams. If they can beat those, I almost wonder if Tegridy Damp could just make a clean run through this whole circuit. This team prior to 9.0.5 were really struggling. I bet they're happy they managed to survive through the cup stage to get into 9.0.5 in the circuit play, because now they're really taking off. If they can just secure another deep dampening survival tactic here, I think that it's likely we see them clean sweep 3-0, and that'll put them up 3 points in the circuit, I believe. So it would be a great start for them. Other teams that are in that lower side are going to start sweating, like even Reload Esports after their win, still 1-2. Method EU being 0-3 overall. So Tegridy Damp have really stepped up. They're the only team in Europe that play this composition, I think, that we've really seen. There's potential for Reload Esports to run a Warlock Shadow Priest, and I do wonder, based on Tegridy Damp, if they have success in the future, if they'll run that comp. We see a setup onto Fnoberz, and Blastwave Bros are really mixing up their strategy overall, targeting all 3 members of Tegridy Damp, trying to keep them on their toes. I think that's a good move, as obviously their main win condition is just overwhelming single target burst damage. So if you're just picking a different target every time you do it, Fnoberz isn't ready for it one time, that's it. Blastwave Bros put a point on the board. I like that they're still cautious for the late game. They're drinking. Not the biggest fan of Ratapai playing on top of the Warlock portal, though, that green circle. I think they should likely want to try and reposition, although they can be challenging with the corruption slow that's applied to the entire team. Silence onto Ratapai. Decent damage coming out onto Jamie. Ratapai just going to trade out Sacrifice, utilizing cooldowns to save mana. Mana is the most important resource for Ratapai at this stage of the game, so that he can keep his team at midfield, trading spells and fishing for these burst opportunities.
Yeah, and I mean, they're going to have to look for those opportunities if they want to close out the game. Mana still really, really good for Ratapai. Livin getting a little bit low. This is Combustion. Big hit on Wallirik. Walrik's health looking like a yo-yo, going down, then back up, then down, then back up. Fnoberz with big heals on that Resto Druid, actually going to be looking to push the advantage right now with a bash onto Jamie. Let's see what they decide to do. Tegridy Damp looking to get a little bit aggressive here. This is the Dark Soul and the Power Infusion. This is a huge hit of damage from Wallirik. Ratapai, how will we respond? The Avenging Wrath seems to be more than enough at 20% dampening. But, I mean, we saw what happened at 50% dampening. That's when things got absolutely insane for Tegridy Damp. They just have to hold on, and then I feel like Blastwave Bros is going to unravel. So we'll see. Can Blastwave Bros close out the game? Big Lightning Lasso onto Wallirik. And an interrupt on Fnoberz. This is actually a little bit scary here for Tegridy Damp. Things are becoming unstable.
Yeah, definitely scary situation there. You can see the pressure for Blast Wave Bros. This is basically the highest it's going to be. Livin has his combustion ready here. Who is he going to target? I want to see him go after Zot. If they can force Zot to use that fade that he has and then pop a combustion on him, they could easily take him down here. So let's see if they end up doing that. Doesn't have dispersion for about 50 more seconds here, but it is Zot right now trying to get aggressive with that silence onto Ratapai. Here comes combustion. They're going after Warwick. That's going to be the unending resolve. Nice combo there with the combustion and the lightning lasso. Nice dispel there onto Livin as well. I believe that was a mass dispel actually that sniped his combustion. Warwick still though taking a lot of damage there.
That nature swiftness
on Shadow. Beautiful nature swiftness here active on Fnoberz, but he gets Hammer of Justice on it. They dispel it there as well, so not bad here at all for the Blast Wave Bros. Jaime able to purge that off. Here comes the Stormkeeper. They don't have the Sky Fury totem, but still a lot of damage potential here for Warwick. Where's his teleport? I don't see it anywhere on this pillar where he's playing, so Warwick definitely in a scary situation. Might need to put that down there next to Fnoberz, but we'll see what he ends up doing here. Still a lot of pressure here on from the Blast Wave Bros onto Fnoberz, especially his mana down to about half. He's going to sit down now and try to go for a drink. Warwick's here just draining life of multiple foes, trying to keep up the pressure while Fnoberz is sitting in that drink in stealth. Nobody able to stop him just yet, and he's going to come back out here potentially with a decent amount, with full mana here, double stun from Fnoberz. And as soon as we get to that 40% dampening point, all the pressure that you see here from Blast Wave Bros is going to start reversing back onto them, and you're going to see the damage over time effects from Tegridy Damp really start doing some work for them.
They've put that portal down on this side. Maybe they should reallocate the gateway as well, or relocate the gateway to this side of the map, so if they need to use it, it's there. Otherwise, it might be in trouble. I think it's on the opposite side, maybe, of this pillar, now connected to the front of it. So Walrus is going to soul shape out a line of sight of the combustion. They're going to stun the combustion, cycle on the combustion, really get rid of that. Very important. Nicely done here by Tegridy Damp to remove that powerful Fire Mage cooldown. Now Zot is getting aggressive, double Psychic Scream, but Stormkeeper is loaded up. Zot's going to try and retreat, maybe Greater Fade this. The Shadow Fury snipes Jaime. Fnoberz uses Demonic Gateway to get on top of Ratapai, going for a Bash Cyclone, but Livin intercepts him with a Dragon's Breath Hammer of Justice. Look like maybe they wanted to polymorph there, so maybe miscommunication, but Ring of Frost has been secured. Walrix is isolated, but he's behind the pillar, avoiding all damage, and they just continue to polymorph Fnoberz. They're trying to go after Zot. Walrix is healing up with Drain Life. Jaime is taking a lot of damage right now. Not many cooldowns to trade, trying to recover, likely a big Divine Toll coming out there from Ratapai. Livin dropping down the Rune of Power, trying to min-max his damage even in between the combustion windows to try and sneak any opportunity. There's decent damage right now on Wallirik, down to half. Fnoberz going to utilize Iron Bark. This is an Iron Bark out of cycle, though. There's no Sky Fury, no Stormkeeper, and no combustion. So that Rune of Power actually baited a very important cooldown from Fnoberz, and Iron Bark has a much longer cooldown than it had in previous expansions, so it won't be there to save Wallirik likely here in the immediate future. But Livin is just getting blasted. He's got combustion. He wants to get aggressive. Sky Fury is down. Are they going to blink in with the combustion here onto Wallirik? He's very far out in the open. Stormkeeper is loaded up. Blast Wave Bros really need to make a push here with these cooldowns and make a commitment while there's an opportunity. They're just knocking down Zot down to half with a huge crack of damage. Fnoberz gets Windshield on a heal, goes for a Desperation Bash on Livin. Livin Premier Images to push in on top of them aggressively. Nice Fleshcraft from Fnoberz, avoiding a ton of crowd control as Blast Wave Bros advance, but they patiently waited, and Zot's in trouble. He's counterspelled. Huge damage coming out from Livin. This is what they banked up for. They were 1% away from closing this game out onto Zot. Dispersion stabilizing him. Ursul's Vortex pinning the whole team away from line of sight. They do manage to recover. I almost wonder if they had been on Walrix there and interrupted Walrix, if they've been able to close the game out as opposed to the Shadow Priest. Triple Psychic Scream. Ratapai needs to get big heals out with Avenging Wrath. He's doing so. Good execution. As soon as that Avenging Wrath is over, Tegridy Damp need to make a choice. Are they going to Demonic Gateway off this pillar? Are they going to continue letting them play on their pillar? Because in this position, Ratapai is getting a lot of stuns on Fnoberz. Mass Dispel hits. Fnoberz shapeshifting, trying to dodge the polys. Ratapai dispelling off of Mind Games likely. Jaime silenced up, going to Astral Shift on low health, try and recover. Ratapai now stunned up on Avenging Wrath, but Stormkeeper's rolling. Jaime really wants to get a Lightning Bolt here. Who is he going to go after with this Lightning Bolt? He needs some value. Lava Burst on the Zot. Zot line of sighting. They're just avoiding the Stormkeeper. They stun up Wallirik for a moment, trying to hold them in place for a Lightning Bolt. They're fishing for defensives. They're not finding any, though, here. And that Stormkeeper gets no value. Livin's Combustion comes up in 10 seconds. That Combustion really needs to get something, but there's so much in the way. There's a Greater Fade, a Void Shift, a Trinket, an Iron Bark. They're going to try and go for it here, but they are just playing on a razor's edge with 2 members at 10% health. Ratapai's Avenging Wrath has subsided. How is he going to recover? He goes for Divine Toll, but it's 52% dampening. 52% reduction of a full heal is not a full heal anymore, and he is really struggling. Jamie's trying to help out with Fleshcraft, a big shield onto himself. Livin's popping those blazing barriers, trying to absorb damage, and they managed to stall long enough. Now they're blasting Wallirik. Livin casting a Pyroblast. You can tell that he's getting fatigued. And this is the type of matchup where stamina really matters. You can't let the dampening get to you. You still need to be playing as well as you did 14 minutes ago as you are now.
Yeah, I mean, it can happen if you get dispelled on your Pyroblast proc at the same time you press it. Those hard casting Pyroblasts do come in, but this is a very tense moment. Jamie loads up a huge hit of damage, and Wallirik just going to be on the run. And this is what we're talking about, where you take full advantage of your snares. As soon as Jamie gets ready to unleash all that devastation, you're just behind the pillar. Goodbye. Just running away, just avoiding all that incoming damage. Jamie actually going to get stunned up right now. And this is the point where if we see Tegridy Damp get full pressure, I don't know if Ratapai is ever going to be able to recover, fully recover, but big damage here onto Wallirik. At the same time, he needs to be very careful. Dampening works both ways, almost at 60%. It's been 15 minutes. Grueling slugfest here for both of these teams, but full damage available. Zot forced into the dispersion. Now not going to be feeling nearly as safe trading that out. Fnoberz getting very aggressive, throwing in stuns. Big combustion coming in, and Zot forced to actually trade out the Void Shift as well. Things unraveling for the side of Tegridy Damp. Last Wave Bros, they might just push and try to just maintain this pressure and try to sneak away with a victory here if they can. I don't know if Fnoberz is going to be able to recover. Wallik's in so much trouble. 10% health, big heals coming in. He's got the unending resolve, just so greedy to not use it until this moment. Lightning Lasso comes in on the train life. Big dots coming in. Wallirik looking to reverse the pressure. And if he can, I don't know if Ratapai is going to be able to recover, but at the same time, Tegridy Damp, they don't have much to work with here.
Unbelievable recovery there from Warwick. He was down to about 10% HP. Zot doesn't have dispersion here as well. He does have his greater fate, so Zot is feeling somewhat safe here. But this is the situation where the map really backfires, because now they've crossed the map. They have slows on everybody. Fnoberz is going in here for the stuns. Ratapai trinkets out. Hammer of Justice onto Fnoberz. No trinket onto him. Warwick's no range. They're swapping to Fnoberz. Big damage coming in there. But he does have the Battle Master to save him there in the nick of time. Swiftman comes out as well. Big heals here for Fnoberz on that Resto Druid. Still holding on to the bark skin there as well. The unbelievable amount of greed coming out from Tegridy Damp as Ratapai goes at 67% dampening. Jamie caught up in a stun, trinkets out, but this is just too much now. The damage is being done. Zot with the power infusion here, looking to close this one out, Sid.
Stormkeeper's loaded up. Combustion's available. This is their final push for Blastaway Bros. They get it! They do it! Lightning strikes, but Jamie could fall as well. Zot's going to knock him over. 2 versus 2. Out of mana Druid, out of mana Paladin. Shadow Priest versus Mage, basically. Silencing the Combustion, trying to stall it, stunning the Combustion, buying time. Mirror Images trade for Livin to reduce damage. Shifting power, trying to get to that next Combustion as soon as possible. Not much defense. Vampiric Embrace activates. Innervate's up for Fnoberz. He needs to get big heals out with this Innervate. Zot is just taking huge damage at the moment. He's got Fade. He's on 10%. We see a double blink in from the Mage trying to catch Fnoberz. Fnoberz bashes up Livin, but now the Paladin Ratapai is doing a ton of damage with Avenging Wrath. They need to get in line of sight. Soul Shaping, but getting pulled back in on that Ursul's Vortex. They're trying to pull Zot back up into the fight here. Ursul's Vortex pins him. Fnoberz is going to sneak away maybe for a drink, maybe get a res. If they've got a Psychic Scream to hit Livin when he crosses midfield. Frost over Ring of Frost around the corner, dispelled by Fnoberz. He's not playing too greedy. Ratapai is drinking. How much mana is Ratapai going to get here? Nothing's hitting him. Blink over from Livin. Ratapai is getting a ton of mana. If Fnoberz isn't going for just a YOLO res at this point, I'm not sure how they plan on winning. Psychic Scream hits the Paladin. Maybe they can just control Ratapai and go for the kill. But they're actually even on mana. Silence. Cauterize still available. Sacrifice like off cooldown. Ratapai going to pop that, but dampening is exceedingly high. We're definitely breaking a record in this game.
77% dampening, and this rot damage coming in from Zot should pay dividends. Ratapai trading a lot. They're going after Fnoberz with the Combustion. The Bark Skin comes in. Fnoberz can hold on. It's so close. He needs to get out of line of sight. The Emblem comes in. Big heals, but how big can they possibly be at 80% dampening? Zot really just trying to keep the pressure rolling. Ratapai managing to stabilize and hold on. No ice block going to be available for 45 seconds for Livin. 80% dampening. We have dispersion available. Both these healers almost completely tapped on mana. The pressure is high. This is match point. Blast Wave Bros, they need to somehow stay in this game. They might be able to drop a dispersion comes in, but there's just basically no healing. Fnoberz, how are you going to hold on? The Kleptomanias from Livin are just absolutely devastating, and I feel like Blast Wave Bros, they might be able to do it. Maybe beautiful fear
mind games.
Beautiful mind games. Ratapai smells
that
TB! He's so low, and they
Oh.
drop him. How much dampening was this?
Wait, it's not
18
over. I don't think it's over. This is a 1v2 from Livin. Iron Bark
No
on
way.
Zot. He just faded. He's got Combustion in 10. Power Infusion. Klepto that. Combust. Kill, maybe. He's got Block again. Fnoberz is low. If he can manage to max range the Purge, there's caught. Where's the block? There's the block. Cancels it. Combust. Go. Let's see. Livin. 1% health. Oh, he's purged on it.
Dispelled.
And that's it. Yeah, he
That's
just like,
over.
that's over.
That game was almost 20 minutes long.
Look at him.
That's
What was the
single
dampening?
game.
What was the final
It was
dancing?
84, 85,
85
20
or
minute long
something.
game.
Oh my goodness.
That was
Jeez.
insane.
Yeah.
I mean, Tegridy damp, they're living up to their name, right? I mean, they literally have damp in the name.
That's so true. I'm stressed after that game. I can't imagine how they feel. My goodness.
You know what? I can't believe what happened to Wallirik. I swear he's across the map, and then he was just dead. he just evaporated.
86%. I think that's even like that's I want to say our highest ever is like 88 or something like that. So that's really close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say, ladies and gentlemen, we have a new record here for Shadowlands. 86% dampening. Witnessing history here together. And I really hope if we see a replay here that we see what happened to Warwick,
Wallirik,
because I
yeah.
swear I just see Sid going, okay, this is their last push. Stormkeeper combustion. Let's see what they do. One zap. Just Zeus taking down Warwick.
Oh my God. I mean, we were.
Oh, here
Where
it
is
is.
it? So Wallirik,
Oh, oh.
I'm just looking at, well, look how far away Wallirik is. Look at him, he's
I know.
hiding like,
I
I'm fine,
cannot
right?
believe
I'm
he
hiding
does.
over here. I'm so far away. I'm Wallirik, I'm the Warlock, I'm Drain Lifing, I'm 100% HP. Look at, I'm so far away from everything. Nothing could possibly hurt me. Oh, they're hitting me. Oh, they're looking at me. Oh
Possibly
no,
go wrong now.
Fnoberz is on top of me. I feel good. My healer's right here. I'm at the pillar. Everything is going fine.
Boom.
Oh, I'm dead.
Imagine. Jamie is. I want you guys
that's
to
the-
realize also, Jamie was 10% health when he just went for that. He's like, whatever, it's now or never.
Man. Oh God! I mean, that's when cross kills end like that. When like you should have won when you took down another your opponent first, a member of the team on your opponent's team first, and then you lose. I mean, that is just especially how close they were. I mean, they survived tremendous pressure from the side of Blast Wave Bros. Tegridy Damp still managing to keep their team alive there in that 2v2 at the end. I mean, you went from a pretty cookie cutter